get underway. Hope you are all well. Welcome to Tuesday Night Edits, episode 136, I do believe, if my counting is correct. So yeah. I mean, that's heading for 3 years, isn't it? Yeah. Getting there anyway. So I hope you're all well. Hello, Nadine, if you've made it here now. Good evening, Peter. You're going to be working hard in the background. Hope you're doing well, sir. Good evening, Ozzy. How are you, sir? Hope you're keeping well. No afternoon, whatever time it is over there. Yeah, to be honest, I can't remember what I've got set as the intro music. I can't remember what it is. I did change it a while back, but I did pick something a little bit more chilled out. I do remember that. So, I'm glad you like it. It costs me enough every month. Well, like the music licensing for the channel and for this and whatever else. It costs more than what I pay for Amazon Music. What's all that about? I'm echoing, am I? Ooh. Am I echoing, everybody? Do let me know. It might be just my setup at the moment. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I do, Peter, I do. Good evening, Beatrice. I hope you're well. Nice to see you. Evening, David. So, which version of the Z range are you waiting to arrive? No echo. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just sometimes I wonder, because I can't hear myself. What else have we got? Good evening, Alistair. Hope you're good. No worries, Nadine. No worries at all. Hopefully it's back. Hopefully it's okay when you come back. So is that the old Z7, David? I'm guessing it's not the Z7 II. But anyways, very nice. Yeah, hopefully you can find us again, Nadine. I'm sure you can. Right. And there's Nightbot. The old one. Very good. Second-hand job, is it? MVP, maybe? Good, efficient, good rate. So does that mean you've traded in the D10 or whatever, or whichever one you had? You traded in, traded up, traded sideways. Some would say maybe it's traded down a little bit. I don't know. Certainly lighter. I'll give you that. But yeah. So I know if you're in the UK, it is pretty bloody hot today. I'd imagine it's probably... You traded in 3 cameras there, my God. So was it free in the end? In the UK here, it is quite warm. Even up here in the northeast, it's far too hot for me. It's just blisteringly horrible. I must admit, it's horrible. It's grim. I'm absolutely baking. It's just far too hot. And you know, it's probably only, well, on my internal thermometer it says 24.5, which is far too warm. Oh, it's all your second cameras then. Nothing too serious then. Yeah, so it's about, they say it's 20, they say it was about 17 outside, but I don't believe that. But yeah, the rest of the UK is pretty bloody warm as well. But needless to say, I think everybody everywhere is warm at the moment. I know in the US, everybody seems to be blisteringly hot. So it's not very... Oh, clean me bloody lenses and left a bit of scum on them. So tonight's stream might be less frenetic than normal. It might be a bit more chilled because I just can't. I haven't got the energy to go at a speedy pace. So tonight is going to be quite chilled. Well, I'm intending it to be quite chilled. So we'll see how we go. And obviously it's summer. Lots of people are busy. Good evening, good morning, Kangaroo. I hope you are well. Shall I put these on? Yeah, let's put them on. I don't really need them that much. Just sometimes my eyes get tired when I'm looking at the screen. Can you use them as a shield? Right. So, when did I go out? One day last week I went out, photographed an old church reasonably near to home, just basically to get some images taken. And I caught one of our heat waves. It's well, I think down south it's about 30, 31. Here, well, indoors at the moment it's 24, and it's just, I don't like it at all. It's not very good. Not very nice at all. But it's lovely weather. It's just too hot for me. I don't like hot weather. Rule on winter. So yes, I went and photographed a church. And if you've been on Twitter, did I post one on from the outside? No, I think I maybe meant to post a shot from the outside. But I only posted a shot from the inside, so I did some internal ICM photography. All of 2 frames. I think that's all I took indoors, which I did post on Twitter. But the rest of it's all outside, and this church goes back to Norman times, so it is quite bloody old. So quite a nice thing. Let us share the screen. If I remember the button. Should be that one. There we go. So yeah, this is the image I made the other day of the outside. Lovely little church. I couldn't quite get the colour the way I was wanting or intending. It was just a bit bright. So that's maybe why I did hold back on posting it on Twitter, because I wasn't 100% happy with it. Quite happy with the composition and the way it all came out. Just I can't quite get the bloody colour right. So it was a bit slightly annoying with that, but lovely little church. It is surrounded by trees, so it's quite difficult to photograph in my style. Here is another version, which is very tricky to, when you got that background, dark background, light foreground, it makes it hard, quite complicated. So yeah, it was quite a tricky shoot. Yeah, is that a shot? It's a nearly sharp image, so you can see what I was actually photographing. Not sure about that, David. But yeah, it is. Thankfully, I'm hoping the seatbelt might roll in later on. Evening, Aileen. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Evening, Jerry. Or afternoon, Jerry. Good to see you all. Yes. Always charge more. Should have a rush fee, Peter. I definitely have a rush fee for jobs like that. So there's this version. No, that version not even sharp either. So anyways, lovely little church. Tricky to photograph because it's on a couple of levels. You can maybe see that it's kind of on a hill. So there's a change in levels, so that makes it awkward for photographing. But nice little church. So I've shot some reasonable data, and we'll work through some of this tonight and see what we get for tonight. But like I said, just hopefully a nice little chilled stream. Because it's so damn hot, I can't cope. So yeah, you know, in the end, we might end up with something close to this again, because the images I'm going to use, I think, are maybe these ones. Yeah, some, you know, these type of ones. So we'll see. So, while I remember you Patreon supporters, just a reminder: if you haven't seen it in your email inbox or via a notification on Patreon, this is of course my wonderful Patreon supporters. There's your lovely list: Larry, Jerry, and Paul with the supporters at the Maul versus Obi-Wan tier. Always thankful to everybody that supports me there. So all the Patreon supporters, please remember that this Friday, 7:30 on UK time, my time, is our monthly Zoom chat. So hopefully we'll see a few of you there, because it's I know it's summer and lots of people are busy and away on holidays and stuff like that, but I would like to keep it going because it is really fun to do. So you should remember that if you can. Always lovely to see you all and have a bit crack. So that's Friday night for me. Good stuff, David. That's YouTube for you. Also, more news. I don't know if it'll be here for next week, but I will be getting a new mic arm. That's probably just killed all your ears. So hopefully it won't bang and clatter and you'll not hear springs pinging every time I touch my desk. So maybe that'll be here in a week or so, because I've just invested in Elgato. Just released a load of new streaming gear, tools, various tools and stuff, and one of them is a mic arm that wasn't massively more than the Rode PSA 1, which I was tempted by. So I'm going for this, see what it's like. If it's crap, it'll go on eBay. I think it should be all right. So hopefully I'll be able to bang and slam the desk in the future, and it'll not send the mic going mad. So there's a bit of free advertisement for Elgato. No worries, Ozzy. Always, it's not a new mic arm. Yes, I know it's dodgy because it's work time for you guys over on the to the west, and that sounds way more fun than talking to me, Aileen. I hope you do. I hope you have a lot of fun. Don't crash, by the way. I hope you have a lot of fun driving your rally car. So not a problem with that. Yeah. Because there's a choice of two arms. There's like a big overhead one, like these ones, and there's a low profile one. And I was debating, do I go for the low profile one, because this one sits, the mic sits below me. Because you can lift it up. Look on YouTube. There's lots of stuff about them already. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a bit more solid, not ping as much, and just hopefully improve things a little bit better. That's what I'm just trying to do. Just chip away at the setup, and hopefully things will get better and better and better. So made strides this year. We've got the new, we've got the decent, better lighting setup. We've got the backlights, better mic now. Connected the camera up as a webcam, all this kind of stuff. Wonderful. Making big strides, but there's obviously always lots to do still. Right. Anyways, I am ranting and raving, wittering on. So let's have a look at some of these. Or maybe should I look at some of these ones? Nah, not them ones. Crap. Nope. So, these few. I'm going to use ones that I haven't edited with yet. Yeah, it was these ones I was kind of thinking about. So slightly more on the angle, side angle, so you can see the entrance there. And the other nave, I think it's a nave. I don't know. Church architecture isn't my strong point. This lump out the side of it. You can see that in a bit better rather than the kind of front-on view like this. So I think we'll work with some of these ones. So not that one, but where it's slightly turned, just so it's a bit different. Right, let us get underway. So this one, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there's 5. There's 5 images there which we can use. So I'm going to try to edit these from scratch, so not using any of me colouring profiles, like all these preset, like just the standard Lightroom presets for various things. I'm starting to, look at them a bit closer as differing starting points, just to try something different. But they don't always work. Because, I do like my reds. Even when I start the images when they're blue. Right, so let's just flatten out the detail a bit. Basic. So let's go auto on the colour. That kind of warms it up a bit. Click on auto of that just to see what it does. Yeah, it's actually done an all right job for a change. Sometimes it doesn't. Do I? Yeah, I think I'll go closer back to the 0 for highlights because it might just burn out a bit quick. And I'm going to ram the shadows right up because we will be layering these, and this could get very dark very quickly in this kind of area on the left hand side when we blend them together. Right. So, now colour wise, I did say auto, but I'm just going to check the others to see what they like. Daylight, midnight difference. It's a bit on the warm side. Yeah, it's a bit cooler. Right, but what I am going to do, I'm going to kill some of this blue, get that brought down. Maybe it's not that far. Maybe still about there. Just I feel that I think I've said it before, but the blues on these modern cameras, they're a bit vivid. It's just a bit ridiculous. And the other thing is, well, all these greens, it could get quite yellowy. I'm just going to pull the building back a little bit towards the orange rather than yellow kind of levels. So we like that. Let's just do a quick dust spot check. It's been quite. There's a couple there. Let's do a quick clean of them. If the computer will catch up. She's slow today. Right, done. And then we'll sync all those settings across the whole lot. And then we will push these into Photoshop. Open as layers in Photoshop, and that will load all 5 layers stacked on top of each other. Ready to go. So how has everybody been? You all doing well? I hope you are. Hopefully you're all enjoying summer. I hear things are, I wouldn't say getting worse in the US, but cases are rising again, just like they are here. I mean, over here, if you don't know, we have no restrictions whatsoever anymore. And we've got more cases now than what we had in January. We've had today we've had the largest deaths total since March. I think it was March. It's all a bit sketchy. There's never too much ice cream, Jerry. For all I am on a diet, I have been having ice cream every day because it's been too warm. Yes, no restrictions, Gangamoon. We can, if it is our choice, we can go everywhere without a mask. We can go night clubbing again. We can go into a pub again. Well, you could go into a pub, but there's no restrictions. You can have a wedding with God knows how many people in attendance, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, all legal restrictions. There's plenty of guidance still there, but legally you can do as you please again. But I went shopping this morning. I only saw one person without a mask in the supermarket, which made me very happy. I don't want to go around in a place where people are going unmasked. Well, places where I need to go. People want to go clubbing, go to the nightclubs and all that. Up to them. You're not going to find me anywhere near them. Peter, we opened up because I think basically everybody's got bored and we've got an idiot in charge. Were you photographing those bees and insects, Alistair, or is that work related? If it's work related, sounds quite interesting. Managed a local night away in the van. Yes, I saw that image, David. I bet you, if you were in the van, I bet you weren't the only one along there. It's been quite busy with vans along there. Good to see you, Larry. It's always good to see you. I hope you are well, sir. And as always, thank you. As you missed it, thank you very much, as always, for all the support on Patreon. And I did remind everybody that the Patreon Zoom chat is this Friday. If you can make it, it'd be lovely to see you, along with everybody else, or those that can make it anyway. Right, tonight, I'm going to stop blabbing so much because it's already nearly 8 o'clock. I barely started. So we're going to blend these 5 frames together and probably stop talking about coronavirus all the bloody time. I'm going to blend some of these together in a manner that hopefully kind of works. I don't know, I've been struggling recently. I should really do a video on how badly I've been struggling with all this, but we'll see. And also, while I remember, I know I did say it last week, but I will be recording a new episode of the podcast on Thursday. I like how he specified England has a buffoon in charge. They're alien. Very good, Arthur. Very good. Yeah, we Nicola is trying to be William Wallace. That's right. There. Defending the realm from the nasty English. Right, light and blend mode, I think. He says he thinks. Let's just blend these together and see what we get. yeah, we'll use this as the basic template. So let's pull that across to about here. I might have to change blend modes here so I can see what I'm doing. I think we're going to have to. So my tip on this is basically to use the multiply blend mode and then just add them layer by layer. So you can kind of get them lined up. Obviously, you'll get some things that repeat. That's just a judgment call of which one you kind of use. Obviously, here you can see how this one's easier to see to get the alignment right. And then it has a tendency of getting dark, so you can just knock a layer or two out and just pull that roughly across into position. There, it's easier to do that way. Maybe we don't want them precise, but you know, personal taste. Switch them back on, and then we'll change the blend modes for all the layers again, back to lighten, just to see what it's like. It's a bit gash. Oh. We will look at this again. Panic, remember, realize how rubbish we are. Want to give up photography. Okay, wish we won the lottery so we can quit all this rubbish. Right, dark, and it's a bit too much detail there for dark, I think. I don't like that much detail. We can try taking out some layers. Yeah, that one's a little bit more interesting. That layer had a bit too much detail. So we could use this one, just basically hide a lot of the image. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put like a reverse mask on this, so it's masking in black. I'm just gonna paint it back in on this area because with that layer on, it kind of provides a bit of, to make that a bit stronger on it. It provides, yeah, I'm painting in white. Come on. Come on, flew up to 100. Why is that not? Come on. Paint in white. Oh, that's a razor. Whoops. It's me being an idiot. Let's go up to there. Paint that in where? There we go. We've got a bit of detail back. So we've got that corner of the building, and then the rest's a bit softer, a bit more sketchy. Right, so foreground, I think we could maybe do something a little bit more with this. Or maybe not. Let us, yeah, let's take that layer out. Yeah, we can maybe take this layer out. Let's go to use the eraser tool in this one, take that kind of browny stuff out of there. Maybe do the same for this one. Just take some of that scummy stuff out. Should paint some of that into there. Just brings the headstones and stuff a little bit more into view. We've got these hard edges along here which we need to deal with. So I think I'll probably just crop to there. I think. Maybe. Let's have a little experiment. So yeah, that's actually worked out all right. So yeah, so it's that layer. So again, just the gradient tool up to near the corner, near the edge. Sorry, up there. To that, we've got that line there. Do we get rid of that line there? That did nothing. because I'm an idiot, because I reversed it. So paint that, and I need that to be 100 because I don't want any kind of sense of a line there. No, that's the wrong one. I'm on the wrong layer. This one, let's go back to the original idea of the gradient thing. Go to there. There we go. It's even made it quite soft on the edge. Let's see if we can, yeah, that's looking nice. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Good evening, Simon. Hope you're well, sir. What have you been up to this past lovely week? It's been a bit warm though. Right, we do have a bit of an edge on the bottom there, but I am not dealing with that. I'm just going to crop in a little bit. Like so. Somebody's dog in the village having a yap. If you can hear that. You might not be able to. There's an edge down that side. God damn it. That's that layer, isn't it? I'll tell you what, I'm just going to crop in on that side as well. There you go. So did anybody watch Jeff Bezos blast himself into space today? Strange, I had one of them feelings where I was like, is this going to blow up? He's like the richest man in the world going to blow himself up on live on telly. And all of a sudden, should I be watching this? I always think that when I'm watching rockets take off. Obviously, I am old enough to remember quite vividly the Challenger disaster and a few things in the past. A few other things where they've gone wrong. Can't remember the moon stuff. Not that old. But I remember Challenger quite vividly. I think I was about 9. He came back. Yeah, it was all a bit dull after a while. I was like, all right, he's up there and the parachute back. All right, okay, that's it. Have a bit of fun floating around. And then come home. Right, so colorization. This is a little bit. Maybe he's trying to do some kind of colorization down here. It's a bit grey and a bit bluish. So let's go. Not that one. This one. Get rid of that color balance one. That was a mistake. Go here. There's not a lot of color in there to work with. Is there? Let's zero that. Let's click on that and it'll probably... Oh, it does say blues. Okay. Going to be very subtle, isn't it? So we could have a start with a bit of purple. Yeah, let's do that. Don't want lightness, we want. Leave that in the middle. So there's a bit of colour there, and obviously we'll just do a mask and get rid of that. Probably go the wrong way. Yes, I went the wrong way. Thought I was getting better at this, but obviously not. Right, so we've got the blue sky. We've got some weird mauve colour in the foreground, just for a bit, just for a few giggles. See what we're doing. Am I lit different? I know I'm lit differently because of different lighting. Let me just turn that around a little bit. Just caught a glance at myself. I look dark on one side. Ooh, that sounds good, Simon. That would be fantastic, dude. I must admit I was a space nut when I was younger. But then again, I was a Star Wars fan, so being a space nut when I was in the 80s was just, well, everybody was. Something like that. I'm interested to see what this mauvey colour is going to do when I get into everything. He would have won the Darwin Award. Very good. Yeah, I'll still watch all the Star Wars stuff now. Just a wee child of 44. So like, great, splash my glasses. You know, like I think it's a Friday morning when the Bad Batch is released onto Disney Plus. There straight away. Just find out what's going on. Love it all. Mandalorian. Not so much the sequel trilogy though. That was a bit crap. Right, so maybe do a little bit of tweaking in this kind of colour. So we get into the greens or yellows. Turn it red. If I leave it green, it's going to turn out really yellow. So I'm tempted to go to that. Quite tricky. Do I go quite unsaturated? Yeah, I'm going to drop the saturation a bit on there. Just to see what's... I mean, I can come back out and remove this colour layer. But yeah, let's throw something different at it. See what happens. So stick this all in Analog Efex Pro. See what happens. See how we like the first Star Wars, Episode 4. I only ever remember watching that like on telly, and it was on every Christmas. So you know you watched it on a little telly, but even then it was wonderful. But I do remember, I think it was not one of the only films I saw at the cinema, but Return of the Jedi I saw at the cinema. I remember that. I think I saw E.T. at the cinema as well. And when they re-released them in special editions in the 90s, I obviously went to re-see them there as they were meant to be seen on the big screen. And that was totally different after watching them on a little screen for 20 years or 15 years anyway. To see them on the big screen was wonderful. And now we all sit at home and watch them all. That's what we do. Right, so I mean, straight out of the back, but I kind of like the look at a distance. I like the look of this version, but not when it's blown up. Yeah, not a good idea. Okay, let's have a quick glance. I mean, and this one might just need a bit of realignment. That double exposure bit, just move that around. Could be good. This one's got a bit of promise, and this rough positioning. No, I really shouldn't use my presets all the bloody time, but it does save time. And it gives you ideas. I kind of use them as a, you know, I've done all the hard work in the previous 5 years building up the collection. That there's only so many things you can do with them, so. Anything jumping out at me at these? I remember watching Ghostbusters, but it wasn't at the cinema. And like I think it was the first scene in the library where the librarian turns into like a ghostly skeleton woman. Yeah, massive jump scare. But I did love Slimer. But then I think when I was watching that, I was kind of watching the cartoon at the time as well. So I think I probably saw the cartoon before I saw the film. So all right, I think I've still never seen 2001. ashamedly say, I've got ashamed to say, I don't think I've seen it. Yeah, all right. Didn't realise you were that old, Simon. The thing that always got me about the moon landing was that my grandfather died, I think it was like something like May 1969. You know, obviously 8 years before I was born. And like thinking about that, it's like he never actually saw Man on the Moon, and it was like something that had happened. By the time I realised what was going on in life, it was ancient history. That kind of blew my mind, as it. He never actually got to, witness that moment. He probably would have been drunk, like, if he had been. Because he was a drinker. So the same. I don't know. And that didn't work. So definitely not that one. Let's have a look at this one. Back to the Future. Because they filmed the 2 and 3. So what year was that? Obviously, the first one was 85, but was there a bit of a gap between the next one? Because I remember going to see 3 at the cinema, and for some reason I puked in the aisle. Random story. Hadn't been drinking, honestly, Gov. Yeah, for some reason that was how I remember going to see Back to the Future 3. So I barfed and really annoyed the owners of the cinema chain. Yeah, it's quite depressing, isn't it, Kangaroo? We would have thought. But the thing is, you've got to be like a billionaire and own the biggest company in the world. Then you can go to space whenever you want. Build your own rocket. This is slightly interesting. If we can, computer will catch up. There we go. This is an interesting little composition, I think. All right, Simon. Okay. The 89, the second and third one. All right, okay. It's yeah, so that'll be in 12, 13. Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't have been drunk. Definitely wouldn't have been drinking. Yeah, because it was back in the days where, in town, that film would only be shown the once for the entire town. So if you didn't get in, you weren't seeing it, basically. Well, you'd have to wait until it came on telly about 3 years later. So I'm quite hopeful about this little picture here. Yeah, I think I've just been sick in a swimming pool before. There's a little bit of red coming, Peter. Not quite enough yet. There's a nice little composition coming together. I don't know how far through I'm going to do it. Let's go to the other custom one, the more recent presets, or temporary presets, I should call them. That one looks quite cool, but might not work. Yeah, okay. Right, let's stick with this one for the time being. Just need to do some adjustments. Maybe he's looked to bring something in over this end, or just kind of build it as a square about here. Contrast, reduce the contrast. No, that's bringing in more detail. Or maybe reduce the contrast, increase the brightness. And that's washing the colour out, isn't it? Push that back to normal and 0. See what we get. Okay, saturation's on 11. Obviously we're going to adjust the colour a bit to bring in a little bit more red here and a little bit more red there. Lens vignette. Maybe use our lens vignette to darken up that top right hand corner. Turn that on. Let's go back to a circle. Ah, weird draggy thing. Bring that down here. And then bring this down low. Has it done it? Oh no. Switch it on, Andy. So yeah, bring that down even further. Maybe it's not so much. Just bring this. Darkness wise, it's probably right, but the colour's getting affected. Right, this area's probably a bit too dark. So let's open up the entire image a little bit to that. Go back to the lens vignette. Knock that back quite a lot. Maneuver this around. To about there. Is that too much detail in this area? I don't know whether I liked it more when arcading it. It was kind of a bit more ambiguous to actually what it was. This is looking a little bit more scenic now. Oh yeah, definitely with that taken off. Right, okay, so if we leave that, bring this back to just a little bit dark, under halfway, because you've got this area here which is a bit muddy. Not too keen on that. Reduce that a little bit. Just gonna have to leave that there. Unfortunately, trying to detail extraction, what's that going to do? Sometimes it adds a bit more. Sometimes it opens things out. It opens things out a little bit there. I shouldn't do it, but I'm looking at that screen, which is bringing things in a bit more detail. As in, I can see more of this. Excuse me. Lens vignette. Right. Let's push this up. We could go this way. Open that out. And then add in more red. More red. More red. That's interesting. Nauseous. Yeah, some people react in different ways, but I am no, like, for all I love ICM photography, I am no roller coaster rider. Definitely not. You will not catch me anywhere near them. Because I am a big wuss when it comes to things like that. Right, yeah, let's like that green fadedness. Looking at these, there wasn't so much blue. No, I don't like that either. Nope. Be nice if you could choose other colour. I mean, you can do it in Photoshop, but that's complicated. You do like gradient fills and all this kind of garbage. Right, let's leave it like that. So yeah, we want to add in some red. We might be able to just do it with curves. Let's do brights. We have it like that. Bring in a bit more contrast down here. Is that a bit overly dark down here now? Could be. We never did any movement of the. Did we do any double exposure movement or not? I don't think we did we? Must have done. Must have done a little bit. Very subtly. Right, so red, if we... This end. That's the wrong way. Yeah, so actually if we use green, and then pull this on this side, there we go. We have a more red foreground. Let's maybe it's not that far. Let's keep that on the south side of the line. And then let's go to blue, and obviously the negative of blue is yellow. I'm loving the colour on my other monitor, but I know my other monitor's way off kilter. So, if we pull down that, what did I start to say at the start? I didn't want it too yellow, and here we are pushing yellow. What the? So, sounds like a bin wagon reversing. The bins were emptied at dinner time. Where's his tractors? Supermarket delivery. Well, then we go for something contrasty like blue against red. Stop looking at that screen, Andy. You are putting yourself off. Let's go back. This is right. So just off the top end, just turn that a little bit more yellow. Just using the curves just to add it, change things a little bit. So just bring it off the bottom a little bit, so it adds a little bit of blue into the very dark shadows. Should be good. So it's quite dark. Color wise, probably not pretty decent. And I'm wondering about composition now. So I'm going to move this but not let go, because then I can just undo it, hopefully. I know one of the times I've been undoing recently and it's been going wrong. I mean, some of these have got a little bit of interest to them. Quite like that strong foreground. So one of the things that, I'm going to undo it here. Pray for me that it doesn't undo everything. Right, there we go. When I'm doing a bit of teaching on this kind of stuff, it's hard to explain, but sometimes you can find just a little element in your image that can start building the image around. And I didn't say it, but I should really have done at the time. Just off this little corner here, where there was these kind of streaky bits, which if you reverse it around, it'll be like lines of stone in the building. These little bits, the way they were just a little bit orange, kind of looked like tall grass, and just the positioning those in the corner next to the buttress of the church there, along the line of the grass there, just into this corner. That's basically what I started building the image around. So I should have said that at the time, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. Moving that up a little bit. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Yeah, just having that little bit there is what I'm building the image around. You might see it a little bit stronger there when it's when the balance is right in the middle. So when you're doing these kind of things, that's the kind of thing you got to look for, but if you've got an eye for just that type of thing, just building stuff around it. And I was just using the contrast between the dark trees, the bright building, the dark grass, and just where these, like this overlaying shape, just fitted in there quite nicely. So just look for that kind of thing. Right, so we are starting point, end point. Not looking too shabby. We'll go back into Photoshop at this stage. Maybe do a little bit more tweaking. Thank you very much, Peter. Evening, Alan. Are you getting old? Forgetting about me. Good to see you, man. Hope you're well. Are you still working on the island? I hear it's been busy over there. It's busy everywhere at the minute, like. Roll on winter, get rid of these bloody tourists. Or most of them. Or some of them. The ones with kids. Get rid of them. Open the airports. Send them abroad. Right, so what am I going to do now? Maybe these little... I'll do it, Nadine. And by the way, welcome. I mean, I could abandon this image right now. What I'll probably do when I come back into Photoshop now is possibly just experiment with a little bit of colour. Maybe a few more curves adjustments, just to see if I can get maybe more out of the sky. Maybe darken the sky off a bit, because I know the building here is very, very bright. So maybe darken these bits around it. You know, it's just a bit further experimentation. Maybe just a little bit more refinement on how I work. I suppose that's right. It's just the neighbour who's got a holiday cottage across there said that they'd been across to change over at about 1 o'clock or something the other day, and it was absolutely hotchin'. Right, so colour layers. So just a little tweak in colour just to see if there's any further. And you just back and forward. How red do I want to go until my eye kind of fits? Maybe something like that is a little bit, just -3, just a little change on that, just the hue slider. Maybe that can make all the difference. Let's darken this up quite a bit, so maybe you can kind of just mask this area out, so you can just get the eraser tool, make sure you're on the mask, and then just erase out these little bits. He says hopefully. Yes, it's done it right. Okay. You can turn it on and turn it off. You can see the small little change there. All right, so curves layer. Let's try curves layer. Oh, we're still short of 2 gigabytes at the minute. Wonderful. So curves layer, you can kind of flatten this out. So what you could do, just for the sky. Oh, he's flattening out quite a lot. Maybe these not so much. Let's maybe give this more of a bamboo. Possibly even add in a little bit of blue. And then you can, I mean, you could do like a really complicated mask with this, or you could just do what I do and just curves, invert it. And then the paintbrush tool, so white on black, and then paint in this kind of area. That's maybe a bit strong because I did it at 100%. I think a more subtle chance would be that to drop that to about 50, drop the flow to about 50 as well, if the computer would catch up. Would be lovely, and then just paint in that kind of thing, and then it's all to do. And then the you know, the building is quite bright and everything around it is a little bit darker because it is a church and it is a religious thing of hope and, well, all that crap. No blend if today, Peter. No blend if today. The file is already big enough. I mean, it could go into the building a little bit more. Let's zoom in a little bit. Is there any texture to get a hat of in there? Not a lot, really. Yeah. Right, okay, so let us make that into a stacked layer. Wait while this happens. That's new, and then let us do something weird and wonderful. Let's zoom out. I mean, this is just going off complete tangents. Let's go to a weird layer, exclusion, subtract, whatever. Pin lights, screen. Let's just go exclusion and edit, free transform this layer. Let's do like that. And do all kind of weird stuff. Yeah, maybe this isn't. Let's try a different layer. Again, just experimenting, just to see what happens. You know, like you could, you know, utilize the fact that there's this dark area over in this area and to kind of bolster the sky. Or try to find a more subtle area that could become the sky. Just remember, when you do commit it, it does tend to stick. So like this is now warmed that sky up a bit. Maybe it's a bit too much. Maybe that blue is a bit better. But you can, you know, lighten up this area using this type of technique. So we've got this. Then you would just use the mask to kind of get around it. So let's go to screen and let's drop the opacity. I don't think I'll keep any of this, by the way. I think I'll just leave it as is. But for example, to lighten this foreground area, maybe we need to make this bigger. It's almost taking this top corner and using it down in the foreground. Maybe even reverse that right round, rotate it fully. Somebody did ask us this week whether you can whether you can do all the stuff that I do in Nick in Photoshop. You can. It's just a little bit more long-winded. Excuse me, rub my. You know, the Nick collection is kind of a. It's almost like a Photoshop action that's in a package. So you could do all these things, but it also gives you a preview of what it's gonna potentially look like. Right, yeah, I'm getting lost here. So let's just escape from this. And go to normal. Actually, let's just bin that top layer because we don't need it. And you know, this is roughly it. So that's the, you know, the ways to get over these darker areas without going in and making it look crap by lightening it. And you know, sometimes you'll just you know, embrace this kind of dark area. Right, so it's just Nightbot that's been chatting. Okay. Right, I think we. Well, maybe I do want to do. Do I? Do I want to flatten this area out a little bit? I might end up chopping quite a bit of it out. I think if I chop across there, go 16:9 crop. Actually, I am going to stick with my original idea. Come on. Will you please just give me a new layer, please? Photoshop. Shouldn't matter what I have selected. Right, what was I doing before? Green, was it? Reduce the opacity to that. Edit. Let's free transform. I don't want to have it too flat. Just a smidgen. So like 11% there, just takes the edge off it. Let's just okay that. Come on. What do you think? I think in here, just going to have to take out a bit of that blue. So maybe just maybe that blue is more like a dark grey. So we'll have it about there, and then we will. Come on. One we want, invert that, and then just paint in with white. Yeah, just paint in this little bit area just to take that kind of washed out blue colour. Let's just enhance that a little bit red there because we like a bit of red, don't we? Let's just paint it a little bit there and a little bit there, and jobs are good. So it's 2.5 gig. Is it 2 gig the limit of PSD files? Do I bin off the bottom? If I get rid of some of these layers, I would rather keep. Let's just try saving it. When I tried saving something the other day, I went and saved somewhere completely different. Right, let's click save. Fingers crossed it stays as a PSD. It'd be really lovely if it gave you a prompt as you press save saying, this is too big to be a PSD, you need to save it as a PSB. But alas, this is Adobe we're talking about. And also, I see they've done some updates today, but I haven't installed them yet because I only discovered it about 26 minutes past 7. But I was a bit irresponsible to update Photoshop 4 minutes before I went live, because we might not have had a live stream. Right, this might take a while. And while I go to so damn slow. Right, let's balls to it. Balls to it. What was I going to do? Bring up that. See what's going on in the world. See how many people have actually drifted off to sleep. See how many of you lasted 20 minutes before you went, nah, it's enough. Da, da, da. There we go, we've got 12 people watching. Thank you very much, people. 2 poppy fields. I thought poppies were finished, Alan. Or is this a completely different breed? There'll be a more traditional breed. There's a field next to the secret woodland on the road to, like, the Dennick Quarry Road. There's a field of poppies there. In amongst, I don't know what kind of crop it is, but that's been there a few weeks now. Well, 2 weeks anyway. So it's probably past its best now. But if there's more, so like distinctly red. Yeah, it's. Thank you, Ozzy. Good to see you. Oh, it's the same field. All right, okay. Yeah, I think would it be? When did I go to Lesbury? Last Monday. Last Monday I was past, and it was a bit. I thought there were. I mean, I was flying along the road, so with a tourist on me tail and one other one in front going slow. So I didn't really have a chance to have a proper look. But yeah, there was quite a bit of red. Maybe more of a drone picture than what, I don't know. See, do have a drive past though. Right, so that saved it. Yay, it saved it and it didn't go to a PSP, I think. That's the wrong thing. Come on, bring up Lightroom. You know you want to. Right, back to Lightroom. It's not too early for a snooze though, Larry. Nothing wrong with an afternoon kip. Be nice to be able to have time to have one. Yeah, you would have thought the southern ones will be quite far over. Something like the poppies I've got in my garden. You know, there's flowers on them every day at the minute, but they're kind of the field kind of flower poppies. Yeah. Do let me know, mate, if it's good. Like I say, seen them coming a couple of weeks ago. Right, what have we got here? A kind of finished image, maybe. The desaturated as well. That's the only thing. So if dehaze worked and it left in the colour, but it just desaturates everything. The negative clarity kind of leaves in a bit of colour, but it doesn't soften it. Takes colour away the higher you go. So just little things. I just feel like the middle could be more blurry, more uncomfortable to look at, is what I'm thinking. You can't make a picture comfortable to look at. There needs to be discomfort in it, because otherwise it'll not catch anybody's eye. Right, maybe not that much. Just a wee bit in there. Whatever. Do I put a circle around here? If it will let me, there we go. And let's put that back to 0 and then go to clarity. Just wondering if just getting a little bit of detail into there, because it is very bright. So yeah, a bit of detail. Detail's the wrong word for it, really. Turn that off. Just a hint. Little bit more structure. But does that. Add in that, add in contrast. Maybe it's not that much. And then a bit of yellow, a bit blue. Yeah, a little bit more positive on the yellow side of things. Let's go slightly more this way, if you will let me. Oh, that's very bright on me. Other screen there now. Maybe I've gone a bit overboard. Maybe I have. I don't know. Come on, computer, you're slow. Yes, I am, Simon. I'm about 5 miles north of Anak. If you can search out Anak on the internet, or if you know it. I'm about 5 miles north of there, so it's nothing but fields all around. And good evening, Kazi. Nice to see you, sir. Hope you're well. Zoom chat this Friday if you're around, by the way. Yeah, let's just bring this in a little bit. Right. I think we are about done. Now, I'm quite happy with that, because I'd struggled with all the images I'd made of this since I took these images I think it was last Wednesday. And I've been a bit, I was a bit disappointed trying to eke out pictures out of them. I was struggling. I wouldn't say I've made a killing image, but I think it's all right. Might end up desaturating it a little bit. It's not the vibrance doing a bit. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a little touch. Do that. Stop. Shouldn't look at my other screen. Right, okay. So let us go back to -2. Come on. There you go, -2. Can't control it with my mouse. Okay. I did say, like, it's summer, people have things on out, Kazi, don't worry about it. But hopefully there'll be a few of you make it. It's always good to see you all. Right, let's give that 3 stars, and let's do a crop or 2. And then I can go and hide. I've forgotten how to do it. Create a virtual copy, that's what it is. And I can go and it's dulling it up out there. Might go and sit outside. whilst it's cooler. Right, virtual copy, crop tool, here we go. So, I did mention 16 by 9 earlier on. Do we go for something? That's not a good idea, Andy, because I can't see the screen. Right, okay. Don't know. Maybe 16 by 9 isn't the right thing. Let's go to 2 by 3, which is the starting point. But maybe, yeah, it's just a slightly different crop. So we can go up a little bit just to trim off some of that fat. Look at that. Let's make another one. Let's try squarish kind of image. I do, of course, prefer the established ratios. I am not one of these ones that will just take the lock off and adjust it to suit. I do like to keep recognized ratios because then it's easier for printing and mounting. Now the problem with that is if I put that there, does that look like a door? Obviously it's not a door, it is a gravestone. That's quite a nice crop, that, actually. Come on, computer. Come on. It's not that slow. It's not that it's not that an onerous a task. So maybe it's a bit more central. It's quite big in the frame, isn't it? I shot most of this at 16mm because of how far away you can't get from the church. You know, where I was standing was an inch away from a patch of nettles. Then not far behind that was a drop and then a stone wall, so there was no... couldn't get any further back. 4x5... I mean, you could crop right in like that. You know, the bit that I liked was this area here. To something like that. Maybe even go a bit wider. Go back to the 2x3s. Come on. Add in a bit more sky, a little bit more foreground. Head on over in this direction. So like the edge of the bit, that break in the building is right on that third line. This kind of area is near to this third line. And then you've got a decent proportion of sky, and this area is that third. And the main part of the building's in the middle there, and then that part of the building's in that third. Rule of thirds and stuff and all that crap. Not bad. Maybe do a little bit more subtle tweaking on the whole cropping. Just feel I could do with a bit more sky. Could do with a bit more breathing space up there. But that's ICM photography. Composition is not easy when you're flinging the camera around all over the place. More work to be done, I think. More work to be done. So anyways, thank you so much for watching tonight. Much appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed that. Hopefully I was gonna say hopefully you've learned stuff. You've seen a bit more of an insight on how things can work. It's a nice little chilled stream just to work through these images. Quite enjoyed it. Not as frenetic as usual. Just calmly working through and having a little bit of a chat with you all, which is always good fun. Right then. So just a reminder, Patreon supporters, maybe see some of you on Friday. If you want to join the Patreon, then you can get in from as little as $2 and get similar access to things. Some of it's locked out, but higher rates get more. And what else is there going on in the future? Maybe a podcast out next week sometime. Yeah, I think that's probably about it for tonight. Thank you for your attention. Please, if you've enjoyed the stream, please do give it a thumbs up. I should have said that at the start. More people might have seen it and watched. I'll had it put in front of their faces. But thank you again for your support and your attendance. Very much appreciated. So until the next one, please all do stay safe. Continue to be staying safe because it's not good out there, even if we are double jabbed. But yeah, until the next one, keep it hard. See you.